Hello, everyone. How are you? Today we are doing a reading where we are going to be talking about surrender. We're going to be talking about what that actually means and get step by step, directions from the divine. I'm actually recording this after I finish the reading, and this reading is absolutely incredible. If you've been feeling stuck or stagnant in any way, this is the vibe. Enjoy. Let's jump right in. I'm just gonna start here with some channeled messages, and then we'll go more into this here. Let's see what wants to come through. So I'm hearing Hanged Man, which is a card in the tarot about kind of being um mm, held upside down. But you know what I'm hearing? I just heard I'm being held upside down against my own free will. And it's giving the message that there's an aspect of you, whether it's a lot of you or a small part of you, really feels like the holdup or the feeling, energetic feeling of being stuck that's coming up in your reality is keeping you from, like, you feel like this is like, you don't have control over this. And there's two things here. They're saying to an extent that is true. To an extent, the divine, the powers that be, our higher self, right, can and will kind of keep us in a space where we must kind of sit back when we are in alignment to the things that we're meant to do, right? And the reason why is, if you're in alignment, this can happen because you may have things that you need to integrate and learn before you fully allow, or fully come into a rediscovery of who you are, or a manifestation of the things that you're feeling stuck from having. Okay, that's one side. The other side is that when we are feeling stuck, it could also be because, we are being forced or need to really look at certain things in our life that is keeping us from fully being able to embody that thing. And the biggest message here is, like, if you're feeling this is happening without your free will, without your consent, like almost like a punishable offense. It's like, I'm being kept from something for divine reason, for divine purpose. And that reason is because, not that I'm being punished, but because I need to see things in a different way, because I need to look at life. I need to look at, what I'm doing, um, in a way of analyzing what needs to shift, what needs to change, what energy needs to be put where, so that you can have the thing that you're wanting so badly. It's almost like you're being held from it so that when you do get there, you're fully prepared spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically to hold it completely, right? It's like you want to be able to, it's almost like you have to go and gather 20 apples, right? Right now, your need to go and get those apples is so much, and you're so obsessed with the outcome of whatever this is, that it's like, you know, life or the divine is kind of like, hey, if you just wait here for 5 more minutes, or for a little bit, let's say for a little bit, because there's no time frame, right? So the divine is like, hey, if you would just sit here for a few more minutes, for a little bit longer, I have someone coming to give you the basket so that you can go gather the apples. And the divine is like, you can do whatever you want. You have free will. If you want to just go out and grab the apples now, you totally can. However, if you sit here for a minute, this will help you, right? And so you may, with your free will, get up still and say, okay, cool, sounds good, but I'm still going to go try and get as many as I can without anybody's help, right? And so it's almost like you're getting up and you're running, and you're going to gather all these apples. And now I'm seeing you with all of these apples in your hands, right? You're holding them with both hands, kind of like as a kid, right? Maybe it's in your shirt, and you're running back and they're falling out and you're losing some of them. Or maybe when you come back, you may pick them up and you come back and they're beat up and they're bruised, or you're getting a little bit, but it just still is not enough. And the divine is really wanting you to understand that there is a basket, okay? And this basket is obviously symbolic for something much bigger, a support, something that will aid and help you. And what this I feel like is this awareness that you need, or this understanding, this deeper clarity. It doesn't feel like you're missing anything in the physical world. You're not doing anything wrong in the physical. It's in this clarity that you need to be brought forth to you to understand that if you sit here and just wait and allow and stop trying to do it all on your own, the divine is going to bring you the thing that you need. In the moment that you actually sit down and surrender to the moment and surrender to what is, that is when the basket will come. And once the basket is there, you'll have all the awareness of, oh, wow, now I know exactly what to do. And little do you know, inside the basket is a note, and it explains every single step that you will need to take in the journey moving forward. And all of that time before where you were pushing against and doing all this stuff, the apples are gone, they're dead, they're ruined, right? This basket has the exact list and experiment and thing that you need to be able to take it and um you know keep the apples that you get and use them in a way that serves your life and serves your mission and serves you. And whether that's like how to keep them good, how to keep them fresh, how to make them into other things so that they can be preserved. It's very much this message of like, at the moment that you just sit down and just say, okay, all right, I am done trying to figure this out. I'm done running after all those apples to come back feeling exhausted and then falling on the ground and being bruised and no good. um I'm going to wait until I get this basket that has the directions on how to do it, how to harvest correctly, how to bring them back in a way that makes me feel very good and feel very excited for the fruits of my labor, not burnt out and frustrated. Um, and so the message here is you must pull back, you must surrender. And I think that the divine wants to give you a little more insight here because, you know, just saying the message, you need to surrender, you need to pull back, like that clearly is not enough for you to be able to actually do that, right? It's almost like the divine has said that over and over, or you've heard people say that, be like, oh, just surrender, and you're like, I am surrendering, right? But you might not be, and you might not even realize it. Even if you are sitting down, let's say you are sitting down, you are surrendering, in your mind you're thinking about all the different ways strategically you could get up and run without anybody seeing. So it's like this interesting vibe happening here where the divine is like, you do whatever you want. There's no punishment here. The divine is like, I am not punishing you. I'm not forcing you upon anything. However, yeah, it might seem really difficult because you don't have all the pieces to the puzzle. You don't have the answer to everything that you need. And you will have it very soon if you would just sit back. But the problem is this word soon, or this when, this need to know how, this like pulling so hard is what is creating this restriction and this resistance, which is keeping the basket from coming in. And so, and by the way, the basket is not everything and all the things that you want and need, right? It's the directions of what actions you need to take, and the knowing that the basket itself is the support from the divine that will always be there. So this is a really interesting message. Apples and baskets and notes. Love that. So again, what the divine is really coming through to say is like, I know that the word surrender is something that you hear a lot, you may use a lot, and you may even pray, I'm surrendering, or I'm, setting the intention that I surrender XYZ. However, if you don't quite really understand what that even means, it's powerless. And so the divine today, I think, is what we're getting here, is wanting to give you the direction, right? You asked for direction. And so here it is, the direction on how to truly, truly surrender and how to truly sit down and sit back so that you can get the thing, the clarity, the understanding, the directions, the how to, the why, very quickly. Okay. And the divine's really coming through strongly to even bring me, Holly, your mouthpiece here, to the awareness of this is a message that will be in service to many, and it will be something that will aid in the help um, of understanding surrender in a new way. So the reason why I bring that up is because what I'm about to channel is I have no idea. I have no idea what is about to come through. I think that there's a deeper a level of understanding and awareness being dropped in here that is wanting to be brought to the table. And so I'm just going to also be a student of the divine right now, and just speak and be the mouthpiece of whatever comes through. So um, it just give me a moment so I can kind of sit with this here. I just heard, what's the name of the game? Creation or destruction? Love or hate? The duality of Earth is really the space where we have a blank canvas in what it is that we want to do and what we want to have. They're saying just like the smoke of an incense, just like the incense, the smoke on the incense, goes whichever direction it desires to go. There's no real know-how on which way it's going to go, how it's going to go. There's a very difficult, not impossible, but very difficult stance of fully being able to fully being able to predict the way that things are going to go. However, you're not sitting there hyper focused on which way is the smoke going to go, which way is it going to move. And then if it doesn't go in the direction that you desire it to go, you're not going to sit there and be angry and resentful and frustrated that it went left instead of right, or it went straight instead of moving quickly back and forth. And the point of this message is to bring awareness around when you light a candle, when you light an incense, when you turn on your diffuser, when you take a deep breath, you assume, that it's going to do what it's supposed to do. You're not going to worry if the incense is a bad one and is going to go out. You light it and you let it go. You're not going to assume that the candle is, going to tell you when it's done being burnt, when the wax is all gone. It's going to burn all the way down until it is out. You're not going to micromanage the cells that the breath that you take hits first. You're not going to be praying and hoping that the breath, the oxygen, reaches the cells that are needing it the most. You're just going to trust. You just trust that is what's going to happen. It's a thing that is not even at the forefront of your mind because you're so used to just breathing. And this is exactly the same thing that the divine does for us as a support. The divine gives us the things that we need when we need them, exactly when we're meant to receive them. Just like the breath, there is no need to micromanage when and how it's going to come into your life in a material way. There's no need to worry about, what if I don't know enough? What if I can't do this? What if it doesn't fall into the place the way that I want? The divine is saying you could predict a million different things. You could predict a million different ways that things could happen. And still, you'll have no real control over exactly the way it's going to come in. And so if you can go back to the space, into the innocence, into this the parts of you that can learn how to release control of the things that you really desire, in the same way that you release control in the way that the incense burns. This will give you the true peace and freedom and the basket and the direction and the straight connection to the things that you desire, to go get it easily, effortlessly, without depletion, without the need for burnout, without the need to manage and micromanage and work really hard, even when you're feeling like you need to be pulling back. And so now the divine wants to bring forward some very practical, logical steps to do that for you. That is going to really aid and assist in this. So let's jump into this really quickly and see what wants to come through. Okay, let me think. I'm going to grab a deck that's over here. Hold on, I'm going to pause you. You're not going to even know it. See you in literally a second. Okay. So, what is the practical steps from the divine that we can do to aid in surrender? The first thing I'm hearing is prayer. Of course, prayer I know can be a word that is a little bit like ugh for some people. Okay. Remember, prayer is just speaking to the divine, is just, affirmations, those types of things. Okay. So, any moment that the thing is for me personally, a lot in my journey after becoming spiritually awakened and a little more free than the religious aspects of what I was trying to live by before, was that affirmations really were helpful. However, it felt a little bit, sometimes affirmations can make us feel like we're the only ones pushing, we're the only ones doing, right? Like I am blah blah blah, and it's very much secluded on self. And as important as that empowerment is, it can also sometimes keep us feeling isolated, keep us feeling like we have to be the ones running to go get the apples and coming back every single time, right? By ourselves. And prayer or connection to the divine, asking for assistance in this co creation process, not in a way of pleading because you're in lack, but in a way of, hey, seriously, this is what I want in my life. And I am using my free will to ask for you to help assist me in this, right? Because it's a co-creation process. And so prayer is just that. It's asking for divine help. And there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's something that is the basis and the foundation, or should be, of every healer or person that is doing work to aid in helping others in this life journey. So um prayer is the thing that came through. And of course, use whatever word you need to get on board, but this is a sacred action of, in those moments when you feel like you want to run before the basket is ready to be handed to you, you connect in, you know source, spirit, God, universe, whatever you call it. The whole time you're sitting there waiting for the basket is right next to you, just chilling, enjoying the sunset, relaxing, asking you how you're doing. Do you need anything? You want some more water? I got some energy here. You want me to fill you up? Or reminding you, hey, you should go grab some water really quick, right? Like, it's like this beautiful connection, never leaves your side, never is like striking down punishment upon you. It's very much this deep support. But what happens is when you start to get in your head, so you're sitting there, you're in your head, you're like, and this is never going to come. I'm never going to get the support that I need. I'm never going to be able to get the apples that's going to be able to support the entire community or colony or whatever it is that you feel or that you're there to support. Okay. I'm never going to be able to get enough. I'm never going to be able to do this, to pay that, to step into this mission, right? As you're sitting there in your head talking and talking, the divine is next to you, looking at the clouds, enjoying life in pure peace, right? You're in your head. And at any point, right, the divine knows you're in your head. Obviously, you can tell when somebody, think about when you're with someone and they're sitting next to you and they're like so in their head, they're like so in their head, and you're like, are you all right? And they're like, I'm fine. And you're like, okay, well, it's obvious something's wrong, but yeah, sure, just go over there and keep, downward spiraling by yourself in your mind. And so the divine knows what you're doing, but again, the divine cannot force you to do anything. So at this point, when you get in your head, when you're wanting to run to go get all of those apples because you feel like it's the only thing that you can do, the divine is saying, pray. Ask me to connect back in. All you have to do is say, I'm feeling weak right now. I'm feeling in my head. I'm feeling scared. I'm feeling like I don't know which way to go. I don't know which direction to take. And in that moment, you immediately have now come back to the divine for that support. Before that basket has even made it to you, that support is still sitting right next to you and then can fill you up and can remind you of your truth, can remind you of your power, can remind you of your distinct knowing and understanding of who you are and what it is that you're meant to be doing, and remind you that the basket will be there soon. But until the basket gets there, it does not make you less worthy. It doesn't make you less of a healer. It doesn't make you less of a person, less of a parent, less of a friend, less of a partner, less of a human being or a child or a spirit or a healer, a willing conduit for the divine. It does not make you less than, just because right here, right now, you may not fully have all the tools, all the resources, all the directions in which way to go. It does not make you less than. It still is available to you right here, right now. And in those moments of weakness, you must connect back to the divine. You must pray. Wow. Okay. I mean, okay, Holly talking now. I know this stuff, but this is a really beautiful way to kind of bring this in a way that makes sense for the collective. I need to watch my time. Gosh, I got to get going. So there's that. And just a fun fact. I know I've said this in a couple videos and in a few places. I'm cultivating actually a lot of prayers around, your life as a healer. And so I'm finishing those up. It's taking a little bit of time because I really want to make sure that they're from the divine and they're channeled in ways that can really activate and help. But if you want a copy of that, comment below, or check in the description and see if it's here. Okay, so the next practical thing that you can do. Oh my God, I love this. Okay, wait, I'm turning these towards myself. Yes. Oh God, I don't know if I can show that. I don't want to get in trouble from YouTube. Okay. So this here, these are all upright. I have them faced so that you can see them. It's a little bright, huh? Try to turn this down a bit. You guys probably can't hear, but my youngest is crying right outside the door. Okay, so these are upright and this one's in reverse. And what this says here, this is the first card that came out and it says vision. Okay. And this is first of all, look at this. Okay. Man, is it not focusing? This is so annoying. There we go. That's better. So you can see here we have this skull. Okay, so it's like your shadows, the things that you've been through, the maybe this is like those negative self-thoughts that are coming up here. The divine is saying in those moments, something else that you can do is begin to envision having the things that you want. And again, this is literally something that we know. And also, do you really in the moment take control over the mind and actually call your power back to do these things, to say those prayers, to envision the things that you want? You probably talk about it all the time to your clients or to the people that you're talking to, people that you're giving to, but how often are you really embodying it for yourself? And that's what's really being brought up here. And it's like the innocence or the almost like, this looks like a puppy to me. It's kind of like, go back to the basics of what you know to be true about remembering what to do in moments of surrender. And so envisioning the things that you want and allowing that love and that really exciting, grateful energy to really fulfill you and walk towards it. The thing that they're saying not to do, the divine is like, do not do this when you are in your head, when you're not in surrender, when you're in a place of being pulled back from the divine for whatever reason, or not pulled back from the divine, pulled back from the things that you want for whatever reason. The one thing that you need to do is not act. So of course, because unfortunately I cannot show this on YouTube, in this card here, it's literally talking about taking action. And they're saying that it's really important that when you're feeling these ways, the last thing that you need to be doing is getting up and running to go grab the apples. Like when you're being pulled back in life and being asked to surrender, as hard as it is, the best thing you can do is just surrender. Just actually sit down and not move. Here we have beyond. And this to me just feels like you and the divine, that message that I was getting about the divine, about connecting back into the divine and connecting in when you need love and heart, right? You can see all of these things here. It's like all these things you're trying to do. Maybe you're pulling cards to figure out what to do. You're trying to do rituals to like bang out all your trauma, or maybe you're like you're trying to figure out what to do. You're doing all of these like rituals in the physical to like bring this to the surface. And at the end of the day, the divine is literally like, listen, just connect back to me. Just come back and say, hey, I'm feeling scared. Show me what to do. And then allow yourself to pull back, not take action, and listen and know what to do. And then start envisioning, what is life going to feel like once that basket gets here? What is it going to look like when you can bring all the apples back to your community that you're going to harvest for, and say, look, I have all that we need and even more. Okay. And start to envision that. Go beyond what you're seeing in the mind, because it is an illusion that of things that are not true. It's an illusion of a reality that is completely being shifted, that is not exactly what it's not what is actually happening. Okay. um and then the last thing here is um hold on one second. um Sorry, I'm running late. This reading was supposed to be for someone. Like I was recording this reading for a private client, and then the divine was like, no, this is going to the world. So anyways, back here we have bliss. And so the last thing is, what in those moments, right? The physical, logical things that you can do in these moments when you need to surrender and you don't know how, do the things that make you feel bliss. Laughter, dance, movement, making herb concoctions, lighting candles, coloring, playing with your children, having you know what. You know what I'm trying to say? Um, anything that lights you up in those moments when you're feeling stuck, when you're in your head, do something to cultivate bliss. Stop whatever it is you're doing. I do not care what anybody says. If you're at work and you're like typing away and you start getting in your head and you can't leave, great, that's okay. Put in a headphone and turn on a song that really initiates a lot of joy for you. Okay, watch a video on your phone really quick of your favorite person. Okay, invoke this, and this is going to be the thing that will pull you into this next level of connection that you're really desiring. Okay, all right. I really have to go. I think that's it though. I think the divine's like, there it is. There's your step-by-step process of what surrender actually means. Oh, thank you so much. This is an amazing message. Again, you may already know all of this, right? Of course I do. Like Holly's like, yeah, of course. Yeah, I know. However, this is a deeper level. Some of you, this is something you really need to start enacting and bringing into your reality, and see how it can really create massive magic in your life. Again, if you want a PDF, completely free, of course, of prayers over your life, there's prayers in there for just your daily connection before you start sessions, to anoint your hands before energy healing, prayers for, if you're going out in public, if you're a really big empath, prayers for releasing energies, just a lot of things. And so if you do want that, let me know. And then what else? Of course, if you want a private reading, please, by all means, you can book one down below. Oh, and I have a free masterclass for you also listed down below. If you want it, you can have it. And it's a way to kind of connect to the divine and a way to release energies. So comment down below. Let me know how this feels for you. How does it feel in the body? And I will see you on the next one.